So it can be really helpful. Like when I'm doing things like that, put my hand on my chest and I'm like, I hear you. I hear you. We're okay. I know that happened. I know, but that was 40, 50, 30 years ago, we're okay. We can do this. Like I have to really remind my body of where it is in time and space. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Thanks for being here, tuning in to our special feature episode this month. I love doing these readings, and I'm so glad that they're still part of the podcast and that you're still tuning in and listening to them. Cheryl is here with us today, and she has a question about trust and surrender and how control is threaded through her life, her need to control, her need to fix, and this part of her that feels responsible for other people. And so our conversation, right, when we drop into her body, what we see is that as a child, she set up a power dynamic in her body that when power comes in, that she funnels it out because it wasn't safe, essentially, for her to run this power in her body. And so what that set up was this pattern, a deep pattern of trying to control circumstances, places, situations in her life and in other people's lives. And she was very responsible for others when she was young and responsible for their emotions and responsible for taking care of them. And this was just the nature of her childhood. And so now as an adult, these patterns, right, energetic patterns are still playing out in her field. And so we find these patterns, we talk about them, and then we also talk about tools and how she can move through some of them, what she can do to clear them, how she can work with them. Because like so many of you, right, she's done a lot of mental work, a lot of emotional work, physical work even. These patterns were showing up physically in her life. And she's been doing PT and has really had some breakthroughs. And yet here she is feeling like there's just this place of this cloudiness that she can't move through, that she can't get to. And this pattern of needing to fix and control is really up in her awareness. And so we look at all of this and how it's affecting her, how it started, and then what she can do about it. So as you are listening, think about what were the patterns that got set up in your younger years, right, in your childhood. And what were the ways that you made yourself responsible for others? How were you disconnected from your power? How were you in codependent relationships, right? This was another theme that came up, was codependency. And I know in my own life, it was a big theme I had to work through on this journey and find freedom from, find a way to not make everything about other people and how I was caring for them. And we see this in Cheryl too. So really, really beautiful episode for you to dive deep into those patterns and then tools for you to move them and change and shift something in your life. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I'm really working hard on my spiritual life and have since I was a child, but tremendously now in these last couple of years with this great shift I feel. But there's two things: surrendering and trust, surrendering to the universe and trying not to control everything, especially when it comes to my son and his happiness and not getting drawn in to his drama or the things that he's going through and allowing his journey to progress the way it is without me go running and trying to fix it. That's one thing. And then I also, in my own progress, feel definitely like I'm moving in a rapid pace as this huge shift is happening at a rapid pace. But there's some blockage I feel in my own progress. And again, it comes down to surrender and trust that I'm just not getting through, and I can't even describe in words what it is because I'm not sure. It's very interesting.
Thank you. So I'm just tracking your field as you're talking. And what your body is showing me is that it desperately wants power. Like it wants to know that it's resourced, that it has enough power and life force to run your life and to run the changes that are happening. So I'm just going to place that on our altar and would love to hear like what you know about that in your life.
Hmm. Definitely have had some physical struggles, but between working on it with physical therapy and things and my own visualizations, et cetera, have really gotten through that. Was really worried there for a moment that it wasn't going to happen. And then I just said, okay, well, then what is the lesson here? I embraced it. And now I feel great. It's been miraculous, sort of. As far as the power, it's so funny you say that. It's part of my struggle as well, is my wanting to control everything and be powerful because it would take hours for me to go through the history, but I was placed in situations very early on in my life that I had to sort of take over and be in control for a lot of people in my family just because of what was happening. And maybe I'm still carrying some desire to be able to have power going forward because I know there's things I'm supposed to be doing, but also trying to let the universe do what and trust that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, a lot of sense. So when we're young and we're thrown into these situations, right, where control is really the only source of power that we are allowed, our body sets up a pattern of power equaling control. And so this would make sense, right, where you're trying to control your son because really what you want is just the support, the power, the ability to trust and surrender into something that is other than your version of control. But the pattern is set up in your body. And so it's really like this deep act of love for your son that's motivating you wanting to control him.
Mm-hmm. Like to fix him, not to control what he does. I've always been very supportive in whatever decisions. It's wanting to fix when he's going into a bad spot, wanting to fix it for him, you know?
Yes, and I didn't mean it in that way. It's more like you're saying, right? Like you want to control the circumstances of his life so that then he can thrive in it. He can have a deeper existence in it. And that part of you, right, wanting to fix all the things for him and make it just so that he can then coast through life.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so it's set up with this power dynamic that's going on for you. So the way, let me see what they want you to know. So when you're doing your spiritual work, your meditations, those kind of things, are you practicing being embodied or do you go more up into the realms?
I usually go up into the realms pretty quickly.
Yeah. So this is beautiful, right? This is part of the practice. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there's a very big part of our spiritual path and our ability to source and work through these patterns that we have to be in our body for. We have to really be present to the vehicle that we live in. Because the pattern for you being a pattern of power, right? It's not a spiritual pattern. It's more a deep seated in your body. Your body's like, how do I work with this? What do you want me to do? Like, I know you want me to kind of draw back from that, but I don't know how. And I need you to build a relationship with me so you can teach me something different. Because when we go up, that's one experience, right? As part of the spiritual path. But in my experience, the other part is being really embodied. And the way that you're going to untangle this and really be able to find that freedom to just love your son and trust and surrender to whatever is happening is going to be building this relationship with your own body so that you can feel it in your body that you can trust and surrender.
Well, I get that. I get that. That definitely resonates with me. And it's not just him. It's like I feel responsible for everybody's happiness, like, oh my gosh, you're feeling sad. I want to make it better for you. It's very strong with my son, though, especially.
Mm-hmm. Well, the pattern that you're caught in, right, is codependency. Because codependency says, I can feel okay so long as you're feeling okay. And then you're going to set up your life to go about making sure that other people are okay so that ultimately you can feel okay.
You hit it right on the nail on the head right there.
Mm-hmm. So the powerful place for you, right, is to really get in touch with why you're not okay and what you can do about it.
Which may be that big cloud I'm talking about that I feel for my own progression.
Yeah. So, like these two things, right, they're not separate. And typically they're not. When we're moving through something in one area of our life, we're usually moving through it in another area as well. So, when I feel into that cloud for you, it is swirling like all around the bottom part of your body, which is the lower chakras, right? That's the part of us that's connected to our earthly body. And this is the part that gives us the power to run our upper chakras. And this cloud goes from your third down and it just kind of blankets over you, like as if you're wearing like a big skirt with a really high waist. And so what it's doing is, right, it's shutting down this very, very important part of your system. And because so much of spirituality teaches that, oh, it's just the upper chakras, the heart, open the heart and then go up. And it doesn't have a really good story yet about these lower chakras, at least on a grand scale, like a larger scale. The conversation, it's getting there, but it needs to even be deeper. So for you, what I see, it's really going to be this journey into these lower chakras. And the cloud there's a couple things going on. One, it's yours, personal to you, because you've built your consciousness around your upper chakras and your upper self. You haven't yet had a lot of study and training in the lower half, the lower body, the dense body, the lower chakras. So part of the haze is just that you haven't created the consciousness yet. You haven't studied, you haven't learned. So it's like you don't even know what you don't know, is the way that I hear that. So that's part of it. Even just this conversation of us putting awareness onto what is going on inside you, it's going to shift something because now you're taking the consciousness and you're applying it to the place that it hadn't explored before. The second piece is it's a very big cultural and societal wound. Our culture at the moment is very disempowering to women, especially. It's disempowering to a lot of people, but women really get a lot of it. And so as you dig in here, there's your personal relationship to it, but there's also you're subject to what all the women on the planet are experiencing. So this sort of suppression of our power, the suppression of our ability to be equal, to create in more substantial ways. So that's what you're experiencing. It's a real thing. It's not something that's kind of made up and you're like, oh, I don't know what it is. And it's a real thing you're feeling. So I want to validate that for you.
And what tools might you recommend to? I mean, I've done visualizations on 1, 2, and 3 chakras, trying to clear them. And it's so funny you say that. That's exactly where I do feel a bind up if I concentrate on chakras. It's where I know it's heavy, especially in 2. But what tools might you recommend that would be helpful?
You say two, and what's really significant about that, right, is that's where the money story goes across, the creativity story, our intuitive story. Like so many of them for women thread through that second chakra. So you're really experiencing it for what it is, like that energy that's in the world at the moment. So, couple tools. So when you said you do a visualization, what I have experienced is that for me, and it might not be true for you, but when I visualize, I'm pretty much always in my head. At least I used to be, right? Like I'm visualizing my second chakra, but from my mind, from my head. And I'm not actually in my second chakra. Whereas what you did now when you said, oh, when I really feel into it, I feel it's my second chakra. So that's a first tool, is where you actually have to be in the body. You got to be in the space that you're working with. And you've got to feel the connection and build the connection to your root, right? Where you sit on the seat, what that sensation is in that second chakra. And then the third chakra, where you're able to take what comes through the root and the second and then bring it into the world through the third chakra. But you've got to really like be in the body in those places. And that just in itself is going to start making shifts. Pulling it off you, like literally, it is an energetic field. It's like take the skirt off. Like I see the skirt has all these buttons down the front. There are all these little teeny tiny buttons just to make it extra difficult for you. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to sit here today. And in my meditation, I'm going to sit in my body. I'm going to open every one of these buttons and I'm going to push this off me to the sides, like both hands going out, and just say, no, thank you. No, I don't want to be part of this conversation anymore. I respect you. I respect that you have karma on this planet. You have your own things you're working out at the moment and being here. But I'm going to give you this respect and you get to give it back to me. And I don't want you here, so please leave. And that's like when I first started doing that. I mean, that was literally like every 10 minutes I was doing it. Like, oh no, you're back. Go away. No, thank you.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it. I've always said that my whole life, my weak area is what I always called it, is my abdominal area. That's where if I'm getting sick, if I'm having emotional trouble, that's what everything hits down there, where some people have heart, mine, lungs, mine's all in the lower area. So yeah, very aware of the clogging.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were also taught as a kid, right? So power is supposed to come up from the earth. It's everybody's birthright. And it's supposed to flood in, right? It's a we conversation. I don't get more, like, I don't have more of an allotment from God than you do, or the tree does, or the salamander does. Like, we all get an allotment of personal power. We're intended to share it. The way our societies are set up at the moment, it's not working out that way for people, right? Like, we are being given a different story and a different set of power dynamics to run our lives with. So, your body, when it was younger, it learned that as that power came up, that it wasn't really safe to have it. So it just started filtering it off to the side. And then you erected the upper body, and then you started the control pattern as a way to be able to get some sense of power going, right? Some sense of ability to control situations because you didn't have this flow coming up in the way that is intended. So hold on, let me grab that train of thought again. It just slipped
That
away.
was really resonating with me. I went, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because it was connected to what you said about the power coming in, feeling it in those centers. So as that power comes in, right, you deflect it off. And then now you're kind of, what's power is intended for you is caught in this blanket and it's distorted. And then it's offered back to you in a way that says, oh, well, you can have a little bit of power if you follow my rules. And then it sets up this whole pattern of your life. So as you move this away and you start to really get in touch with this lower part of your body and the way that energy moves through those chakras, you're going to see that like it's going to be less of a tendency to need to go and fix and create the control because you're going to have a deeper relationship with your body. And then that's going to give you this trust and surrender that you're wanting. Like it's just going to feel more easeful to do that, like more natural to do that.
Yeah, I can feel it already. I mean, it's just like, yes, what you're saying to completely, like I said, again, I'm just using the same words, resonates completely with me.
Yeah, it could be interesting, like an interesting experiment for you to start tracking all the places in your life you see this pattern show up.
Yes, I've been trying to be much more aware of it. And I have recognized specific areas going, what am I doing? Why am I feeling the need to play this role? It's just like, and trying to rein it in, so to speak. I am being more aware of it. But yeah, definitely need to work on clearing it is the big thing.
Mm-hmm. How can I support you from here?
Again, you said not to visualize, but to sit in it, or do I put my in meditation? Well, number one, be aware of my body and the feelings. Like I said, when I feel that coming up, just stopping it in its path or asking it to leave me alone,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. And in my meditations, should I not visualize that area? Is that too much in my head, or just try to feel into the area?
Okay, so first thing, the energy that we're talking about, the skirt, it's going to come in from the side. That's the way you're going to feel it. It's going to come in horizontally. Any power that comes from the earth is going to come up the vertical, right? Because it's going to come up the central channel and it's a vertical sensation. This skirt is like it wants to wrap off you and out to the side. And so anytime you feel and you're pushing it off to the side because it's coming in from the sides and blocking the ability of the energy to come up from the earth. And it's saying, here, I'm going to give you this so that you don't even realize that you're not getting that. So once you press that, like you're going to start working to remove that. As far as visualization goes, it's still very helpful, right, to run it through your mind because you need your mind to help, right? Like it's this beautiful assistant. What can happen so often, though, is when we're visualizing, we're in our head visualizing our second chakra and we're bypassing the actual body. So for me, it would be, okay, I'm going to bring my awareness into my second chakra. I'm going to feel all that area of my body. I'm like, oh, there's my intestines. There's the abdominal wall. There's my chakra. Okay, I'm in my pelvis. I'm going to be here. And now when I visualize, the visualization is actually happening inside my body. So my mind is still helping, but when I'm doing it, I'm actually in the second chakra, almost like I'm going to tense my body a little bit, even so that I can feel myself in there. I'm going to have my awareness in there. So when my mind is visualizing, it's in my second chakra, it's not in my head.
No, I get you.
And then, yes, the sensations, like those are part of it, right? And any other experiential information that comes in, let it be in the body that it's happening. Once you start practicing this, it's fascinating to watch how often we jump up into our head.
Yeah. Another thing I've been working on. No, I get it. It's the feeling part. Yeah. And I think that, again, when I look back on my history, it's less hurtful to be in my head than it is to allow my body to feel it. know what I mean?
Hmm. Yes, because you've created the consciousness that has made it okay, right? Like you've lived enough, you've done enough work that in your head, you've made it okay. You can live with what happened. You've done forgiveness, you've done all the things. But the body is like, but hold on, I still remember it all. I didn't get to forgive yet. I didn't get to move it yet, right? Like you're in the process of that part. So when you go into the body, yeah, initially the body's going to be like, oh, are you sure? I don't know about that. Are you sure we want to move that? Because that's been there a long time and that really kept you alive when you were little. And I don't know if I'm okay with you moving that because da da da, and it's just going to go, right? So it can be really helpful. Like when I'm doing things like that, put my hand on my chest and I'm like, I hear you. I hear you. We're okay. I know that happened. I know, but that was 40, 50, 30 years ago, We're okay. We can do this. Like I have to really remind my body of where it is in time and space.
Yes. Yes, I get that.
Because for the body, it's still experiencing it as if it's happening.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I've done so much work on this and then it keeps rearing its ugly head, so to speak.
Well, because now you're at the energetic part. First, we work usually like the emotional and mental, and you had physical symptoms as well, right? All of those you've worked through, you've done a lot. And then for me, it was really deepening into the energetics. And with the energetics, it can be layers because, like we were saying in the beginning, there's a personal wound. Like this really happened to you. However, there's then you as a woman, that this happened to a lot of women. And then there's you as a human. And this has happened to a lot of humans. So this is where in the energetic body, we find the layers. And this is why we can think, oh, well, I've cleared this. And it's like, yeah, you have. Your personal connection to this, you're good. But you're also a woman. And then now you're in the woman wound. So this is why we bump up on layers when we think we've done something. It's because now our body's like, okay, well, you figured that out. Now help me figure this out.
Exactly. Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Does this feel like an okay place to land today?
Absolutely. Thank you. Definitely. I definitely feel like I've peered a little beyond the curtain, so to speak.
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome.